Welcome to the Kamado Show. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Coley. We are the brother-sister anime duo. And not in a love you like a brother-sister kind of way, but as in a go ask our mom, she's the same person.
This is an anime lover safe haven catered toward the average anime lover, free from spoilers.
So today's episode is going to be an introductory video introducing ourselves so you can kind of get a feel for what we're all about and see that we're a good fit.
Yeah, and I think it's important to kind of connect with the audience a little bit. You can kind of know a little bit about us and, kind of see some common things about that. So we're going to start out just why we're starting this podcast, really. We listen to other anime podcasts and we love their stuff. What we're going to try to do with this is do some stuff that is a little more evergreen. We're not necessarily going to do like weekly new stuff. Like this came out this week, we're going to talk about it. That's not exactly what we're going to do for this one. Or like we kind of said earlier, we are kind of for the average anime lover.
Right. Like, we get it. We have full-time jobs. We have families. Like, we have other stuff going on other than just anime. So it might take us a while to catch up on the latest and greatest of what's just coming out, you know?
Yeah.
So
again, we kind of covered what sets us aside, what makes us different. Another thing, again, we kind of touched on this a little bit in the intro. We are actual brothers and sisters. So Kamado, you know what show is that from? Check it out from our logo. Demon Slayer.
Demon Slayer.
Of course. Yeah.
So kind of how we came up with the name was like, well, that's really cool. Like, we are siblings. Like, are there any brother-sister anime, like, characters out there? And we're like, thinking. Oh, duh. The most popular anime out right now is a brother-sister anime duo. So,
absolutely.
Tanjiro and Nezuko.
Yep.
So,
absolutely.
On that same topic, to commemorate our very first episode, I did get us a little present.
Oh my goodness.
Here.
So if you're watching the video, you could see us. If you're listening to audio only, Coley got Tanjiro and Nezuko socks.
So I'll let you have the Tanjiro,
oh my goodness,
and I'm going to hang on to the Nezuko. Okay. I think those are pretty cool.
That is fantastic. Maybe I'll hang it over the microphone stand here so you can see. I'll show it to my camera. You can show it to yours.
All right.
Hopefully that's in focus. Anyway, I'll hang it over. That is fantastic. Oh my goodness, that is great. Okay. So let's go ahead and we were going to kind of talk about kind of introduce ourselves a little bit. Yeah. And maybe we take turns with this and maybe you can start. Mm-hmm. What was your first anime? I guess the gateway anime.
All right, so gateway anime, we'll set the scene. So back to the Blockbuster era, when you go to Blockbuster and you're looking through all the different DVDs and videos that they have out. I'm with my mom. I'm a little munchkin running around. What do I see at Blockbuster? Sailor Moon. It's this beautiful cover art. She looks so pretty. And of course, I'm a little girl. I'm attracted to pretty fun looking things. So I'm like, Mom, I want to watch this one. So Sailor Moon was what started it all for me. It was just so cool. The girls were all like pretty and the characters were fun, so it's a fun watch.
So yours was at the actual video store is what caught your eye on that, is what you're saying, right? Not Toonami or watching it live on TV. It was the video store, right? Old school
video store.
Okay, I actually didn't know that. I was wondering what you were gonna say for your gateway anime. Well, it's funny you say Sailor Moon. Now I never got that into Sailor Moon, but my gateway anime, like many listeners, viewers, probably out there, Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, yeah.
Toonami, at weekdays after school, have that 1 hour show of... But, it was on right before Dragon Ball Z, and this is why I know Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was on right before Dragon Ball Z. And like I said, I was never a huge Sailor Moon fan, but it's like, well, I don't want to be late to Dragon Ball Z. So I would catch the end of Sailor Moon, and I know a little more about Sailor Moon than what I even would like. But anyway, so anyway, yeah, Dragon Ball Z. And I remember first watching that. I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know what anime was called at the time. I knew it was different than cartoons. Like, it was on Cartoon Network, but I'm like, it just looks different. And as well as a lot of the stuff in the Toonami block. But
and who was the Toonami guy? You know that robot guy?
Tom and Tom 2.
Tom 2.
Tom was very short-lived, and then he died, and then they transferred his conscience into Tom 2.
Tom 2 was the man.
Yeah. He just wasn't this short, chubby little robot. He's like kind of this big, like kind of leaner, tougher looking robot. But yeah, he's just kind of sort of our host through all the anime block every day.
So one thing that I did want to circle back to that we forgot to mention, one thing that we do want to do with this podcast is that we want to basically kind of talk about like one specific anime per episode. So we're not going to be bouncing around from different anime all the time. So if you're not caught up in a specific anime, or you haven't watched it, or you don't care to watch it, you don't have to sit there and suffer through like listening to an anime that you don't care about, or like you're not caught up on, so you're not going to get spoilers on.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll kind of do the spoiler alert in the introduction where we talk about, or we mention what we're going to talk about, and then you could basically just tell from the introduction if you've seen that or not, or, you know, hopefully, yeah, we don't cover too many. Like I've had some like Attack on Titan spoiled where people jump around and start talking about whatever happened. Like, okay, well, apparently something's going to happen to this person, and I'm trying not to give too many examples to be like that either. Okay.
Yeah.
But
or sometimes it's just kind of challenging if you haven't watched the anime here recently. Like you shoot out all these different names. It's just hard to remember all the different characters' names of all the different anime that you've watched. If you haven't watched it recently, it's like, okay, who is this character that they're talking about right now? Yeah. So that's something I struggle with. I struggle with the different character names because, like, say, for example, My Hero Academia. Like,
oh, man.
They have a million different names.
Thank God they have the hero names, because that saves me a lot of time. Like Gravity Girl, and I think her name's Uraraka, right?
I think Uravity is her hero name.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's not even I didn't even get the hero name right. Okay, so I guess I'm flipped then.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one in a minute, but like Deku is easy to remember.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Midoriya, but
so the main character.
They have like their names, and then they also have their hero names. So you have to remember both on that one. But that was one of my examples.
Sometimes people think it's annoying all the screaming they do, but when there's one thing nice about screaming someone's name, Sasuke, you know, just screaming their names over and over. You don't forget, you don't forget their names that way, at least. Okay, so back to what kind of got me started with anime, where I was talking about Dragon Ball Z. Eventually it kind of came to, I didn't think about this at the time, but looking back at it, I think, would it be fair to say Dragon Ball Z is almost like Japanese Superman a little bit?
Yeah.
You think about it, you have son sent to Earth from his father. Now, while it's a little bit different, the reason why he was sent to Earth, I mean, they both had planets that were destroyed, right? There's some common ground there. Both become the ultimate do-gooders. They save the human race how many times over and over. They both even die and come back to life. Which also, you think, well, why was he kind of the most popular superhero? Going back to that, well, I would argue he's pretty much like a Christ figure. If you kind of go through what I just described, that's pretty much goes through the story of the Bible, right? So you kind of So here's how I trace it. You kind of have this ultimate do-gooder, or basically a Christ figure. Of course, Jesus from the Bible. And then Superman, he's like this ultimate do-gooder, saves the human race, even dies, comes back to life. And then Goku, similar thing, although, varies a little bit from Superman. Of course, it depends what you watch. But Raditz, his brother, said he was sent here to destroy the human race. So that's where it veers off a little bit. But the overall story, he does save the human race. And you could even argue that moment against Frieza, he first turns Super Saiyan. That's not a spoiler. If you don't know that, that's whatever. But when he first turns Super Saiyan, that's kind of like transfiguration, right? So anyway, I would argue that's why that did so good in the U.S.
There definitely are correlations there. Yeah. I would argue, though, that it's kind of strange that I do like Dragon Ball Z, but Goku is not my favorite character out of Dragon Ball Z. I just think Vegeta is so cool.
Vegeta? Okay.
Like, Goku kind of drives me nuts. Like, he's a bad dad. He disappears from his child's life. Like, being the strongest is what's most important to him, and his kid kind of falls down to the wayside.
Yeah. Well, even when he's not dead, when he is alive, he still goes off to train.
Like,
he's like not making money for his family.
Bye, Gohan. It's fine. Yeah. Got to be the strongest. We got to have our priorities, right?
Yeah. You could justify it when they're trying to save the human race from a villain or something, but when there's no threat, he's just I'm just going off the train. That's where it's a little harder to justify it, although Vegeta's out training, so
yeah. Poor Chi-Chi, she was just basically a single parent.
Yep.
But I mean, you could argue the same thing about Sailor Moon. Like, Sailor Moon can be kind of obnoxious too. She cries all the time, but I don't know. I think that gets the cloud of nostalgia that it's so cool, and it was like one of the gateways for many, many people for anime. But it's pretty, it's cool, like female superheroes for young girls. And
well, yeah, especially back then where probably didn't have as many of the female superheroes. I mean, of course, you had Justice League and Avengers, but those weren't as popular back then. I mean, you probably had the Justice League like cartoon, or maybe, and then even Avengers, but nothing as big as nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so we covered both of our first gateway anime, how we got into anime. So, how do you want to go first, or do you want me to on this part? Because I was gonna, of course, Dragon Ball Z was my gateway anime, but what really got me into it? Yeah,
what really got you into it?
Okay, so this is going to be another very popular, so maybe probably a lot of audience out there, probably similar to you. So like Dragon Ball Z was my gateway anime, but really it was Naruto.
Yes.
That was just, and it was really, I read a little bit of it in Shonen Jump. Actually, I read quite a bit of it in Shonen Jump as a kid, back when you still had book fairs. I get those Shonen Jump magazines there. Oh. And then it came out on Cartoon Network, and I started watching it then. But then I basically just, I think it was like junior high school, I just kind of outgrew things, I felt like. And it wasn't until college where I'm like, man, whatever happened with that show? I want to see whatever happened. And it actually was still going on. And really, I guess, through Boruto, it still is going on, but it was just the story. Oh, go ahead.
I'm pretty much the same way, because like I kind of fell off the bandwagon of anime there for a while, and then like Naruto just kind of popped up into the spotlight again. I'm like, like this one would be a cool thing to check out. So I think kind of middle school, high school, probably around the same time you got into it, was like when I started getting into Naruto.
Did I have anything to do with you getting into it then?
I feel like we both kind of started it at the same time. Okay. So maybe, but yeah, I think either I saw you watching it or you saw me watching it, and we were like, oh, that would be a cool thing to like both watch kind of together and then be able to talk about. And that makes family gatherings fun that we're able to talk about that kind of stuff together. But
I was hoping you were going to say I had something to do with you getting into Sailor Moon because I watched it before Dragon Ball Z, but apparently you said it was at the video store. You just like the look of it. So I guess I can't take credit for that. But Naruto, oh man. But yeah, just the storytelling is just, I mean, granted, people complain about fillers. Okay, whatever. But the storytelling, character development, and everything, you know, even if you don't like fillers or the pacing, whatever, I just love the way they do that. I've never felt so connected or emotional watching a show ever.
Oh my gosh, it hits you right in the feels. You just there are episodes that just make you emotional and cry. And like nowadays, I'd be watching something and husband walks in, he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm just teary-eyed, like, my favorite character just died or said something super emotional. And it's just kind of funny that it can affect you that strongly.
Yeah, don't watch it before going to work or going out. That was a mistake I made with Naruto. I should have had some warnings when such and such character was gonna die, and then I had, oh gosh, now I gotta go to class or work or whatever. Think about this.
Oh yeah. But if you're like right in the middle of gearing up for an awesome fight scene, that can totally get you amped up for the day too.
Yeah.
On the other end of that.
Yeah, can totally be energizing and get you, or even a workout. And that's why you see so many people at the gym wearing Dragon Ball Z, because that just was just so inspirational to so many people and their fitness and whatnot. And man, I tell you, when Akira Toriyama passed, people in the gym, you just see everyone wearing Dragon Ball Z shirts that day. That was, oh man, just crazy how many, and a lot of people weren't even like that open about it when we were watching, but we all were. And now that we're like a little more like grown up, out even in college, at the point you get to, who cares? You know, you just start talking about it and really bonding over it now. And now, although nowadays I feel like anime is a lot more mainstream, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
agree?
It's a lot more socially acceptable. Like back in the day, if you were watching anime, it's like, oh, you're a nerd. Now it's like just your average everyday people like anime. It's a much more common thing that like it's a cool thing. And plus, like, you know, be who you are. We're all adults. Like, do what makes you happy.
Yeah. And part of me wonders how that came to that. Does Netflix something to do with that? Because I know Netflix started playing a bunch of anime and would recommend that stuff. And I wonder if putting it on Netflix sort of normalized it. It's not, you know, on Cartoon Network or, I mean, it is on, you know, was on Cartoon Network, of course.
We can give that award to Netflix for them. Good job, Netflix.
Maybe that'll be a standalone podcast topic where we talk about basically what we just discussed, how anime was not as popular, more nerdy, and perhaps it still is, but why it's a lot more accepted nowadays. Maybe, well, I'll make a note of that for a future.
But nowadays it is like socially acceptable and kind of like praised upon that to be a nerd. Like nerds rule the world. Like nerds are the ones who made Microsoft and Google and all these cool things. But
when I first saw Dragon Ball Z and a lot of the stuff in Hot Topic and the stores I was like, what is this? Like, this was not so easily available when I was, you know, you had to search online. Now it's just all just anime everywhere in those stores. And it just, man, it's a very different time than when.
Remember the day when it was scary to go into Hot Topic?
Oh yeah.
I was young with Mom shopping at the mall, and my mom's like, "No, you can't go in there. It's too scary for you, young impressionable little girl." I'm like, "But I just want a Naruto shirt, Mom."
Yep. That's where you got to go for it. All right. I guess anything else on that? Getting into anime, I want to move on.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it.
Okay.
So I'll ask you,
All
what
right.
would you say is your favorite anime genre, or what are some genres that you like?
That's a good question. Of course, probably for me, just given my track record with, again, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, those kind of shows, of course, action. That's got to be, my thing. Now, what would Death Note be?
I think that one would be a thriller.
That would be a thriller? Okay. What about, I know you haven't seen Attack on Titan, but you know a little bit about it. Do you know what that would be considered? Would that still be action?
Yeah, I think that would be an
Okay.
action.
Okay.
A little.
Not that I'm saying that's my favorite, but that one just stuck with me. Is it just it's hard to explain, but if you've seen it, you just understand. What else is out there that recently, of course, during the Dragon Ball Z time block back in the day, you also had Yu Yu Hakusho, Rurouni Kenshin. Those were, again, very action like shows. Sometimes I do like the ones where it makes you think.
Mm-hmm. That's
Or
right.
even it's just like someone won the battle, but he did so kind of like thought a couple steps ahead, like Kurama from Yu Yu Hakusho. Or what's that character's name in what's that show I'm watching right now? I'm drawing a blank on it.
What show?
Hang on.
Golly, you're
I'm
watching
gonna search it right now. Oh, Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter. Yeah.
Even that one guy from there that I said is kind of like, he kind of dresses like Kurama a little bit. Do you know what I'm talking about? The guy with the
guy with the
sticks.
chains,
Yeah, he like has this sort of.
the blonde boy.
Yeah. He like always seems to think a couple steps. I like the. I like
Kurapika.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like Kurama a little bit.
Yeah.
Think about oh man, yeah,
Very creative with those
the
names.
The creator was very made them look alike. Even started their names the same way. Oh man. Oh, what about you? Your favorite anime genre?
Anime genre, man. It just kind of depends on the mood. Like, I do really like the thrillers. Those are always fun. Actions is always fun. Like the shonen ones, they're impossible not to like. Probably, if I had to choose, I think I would go with action or
Okay.
thriller. But yeah, because Death Note is probably up there as one of my favorites. A lesser known one, Noragami. That one's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that one, but it's got
I
the
have recently,
action, a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery. It's just got a little bit of everything. But
Yeah. Yeah, and I wonder if that show will ever come. Noragami, that is. I wonder if that will ever come back, or if that's just done. It's kind of
feel like I've
more.
seen stuff floating around on Facebook that it got approved for another season, which I would love it if that one came back. I just thought that one was really good.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little attached to that, and then all of a sudden it's like, where's the next episode? And
I know, it was getting so good and ramped up. It's like, wait, what do you mean this is the last one? I need more.
Yeah.
Like, that one kind of brought me to tears a couple of times.
I was gonna go into that, but maybe I shouldn't right here and now, since I don't know, maybe call spoiler alert on that, but we can get into that another day. So I know that was something we want to do down the road, is talk about some anime that should have had longer runs and whatnot. And I know that was one of the items that I know you were thinking of that.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
Yeah, we'll get into that another time. What are some slice of life anime examples? Think of any off the top of your head?
This one is kind of silly. I adore it because it's so cute. It's called My Roommate is a Cat. So like,
Okay.
it's just one of those slice of life things that nothing really happens, but it's adorable. This guy finds this cat and brings it home with him. And so it's cool because the episode, it'll like be in like the human's point of view for the episode, and then later it goes into the cat's point of view. So what the cat's thinking is like, the cat is thinking, this guy is trying to hurt me, or when the guy is like just trying to give him food or whatever. So it's a cute one. It's a really fun, feel-good one that gives you the warm fuzzies.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking up, trying to find anime genres, and I saw slice of life, and I'm like, I don't know if I can really even think of too
maybe
much.
Fruits Baskets could kind of potentially fall in that category. That one's got some romance in it too, though.
Maybe this is why I'm action or thriller kind of guy, because that's all I've seen. I did watch one once called How Heavy Are the Dumbbells That You Lift? I think that would maybe be a slice of life things. It's basically just about this girl. I think her name was Sakura Hibiki, or Hibiki Sakura. I can't remember the first and last name, but it's got to be Hibiki, because I know it wasn't Sakura, because I would remember a name like Sakura, since that's from Naruto.
It's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, just basically her journey about starting at a gym, getting a gym membership, and getting into shape. And I don't know. On Funimation, it was one of the highlighted episodes at the time. I was like, sure, I'll watch this. And I had just started. Not that I was trying to get into working out and stuff. I worked out at home, but not like going to a gym. So there was a little bit of thing I could relate to there as well. But it actually had a lot of great information, like in between like the breaks or end of the episode, even throughout it, like how to do certain lifts, perform. It's actually really not just for the entertainment value, but also informative too. So but yeah,
kind of motivates you to work out.
That too, yeah. Like I'd play I'm a theme song guy. I'd play the opening theme song when I was at the gym, and just put that on loop for, I don't know, a set. Or
it's funny that you mentioned that, because I have a specific Spotify playlist just for the anime openings and closings. So it's just my little nerdy playlist of anime openings, and whenever I'm feeling like listening to some anime openings, like that's the one that I go to.
I do that when I like really need it. Sometimes I do it in the morning, just to feel energized and just on dragging.
It's your own opening. It's your opening for your day.
That's right. Yeah. One Piece is my just put them all on, listen to them back to back, and I'm just like, all right, I'm ready for adventure. I'm ready to try new things, like this podcast, for example. Man, I played One Piece a lot as I was like working on. As we were working on this stuff for this.
Oh, yeah. One Piece is a good motivator for that. It's like, you may not always know what you're doing, but just, you'll figure it out as you go along.
And you're not going to get it on the first try either. You're going to get beat down a lot. You got to keep getting up, keep trying. And you're not going to know how to do things right off the bat. You'll figure it out. It's just such a positive way to see things. And so we watched it, now we've been going through the Netflix series and starting to watch that. It's like, oh man, it's just so many like good messages. Kind of reminds us again of how Luffy started out. Just such a good message overall, that it's just healthy anything in life. When you're trying something new or you have a goal, stick with it. Like we're going to do with this podcast now. Episode 1, we're going to stick with this. We're going to learn along the way. If you do have comments, constructive criticism, you can help us out. Please don't knock us down too bad, as Luffy gets beaten up sometimes. But,
we're learning. We'll get better as we go along.
Yep.
So.
All right. So we're kind of toward the end of the podcast. Any final thoughts that you have to offer?
We're pretty good to call it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for watching episode 1 and hanging out with us. That's all for this episode of the Kamado Show. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Coley. Thanks for tuning in. Don't be a Kamado. Like and subscribe to our channel for more anime fun with your favorite brother-sister anime duo.
And new episodes will come out weekly, so just let us know what you'd like us to talk about next. And we will see you next time on the Kamado Show.
Bye.